live here from Iowa Speedway once again here on JCTV. This time with the Coast to Coast Cup Series. I'm Josh Copperl. I'm joined in the booth by, well, quite a few people. So, Adam Kuhn, Jonathan Parker, and Brett Bennett joining us tonight, making his JCTV debut on commentary. But Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, Josh. Excited for this race at Iowa and continuing the coverage here of the Coast to Coast Cup Series right here on JCTV as we get closer to the end of the season for race number 7 here. It's another different track for us. First time we've gone to a short track for this league here on JCTV, so it should be interesting tonight.
Now, Brett, you are a stranger to a booth in general, not just JCTV booth, but to a booth in general. So, you're making commentary debut tonight, if I can talk. What are you looking forward to tonight here at Iowa? We've seen this quite a bit on JCTV here in the last few weeks, but now this one is a little different with the next gens.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they drive here. I know we were in the truck in ITPN. We were here last Saturday, and we had multiple lanes working there. I think this car, even more so, might have that. I think 1 and 2, the bumps might be an issue with the suspension on these is typically a little stiffer than in the trucks. So you might have some issues with that trying to shoot people up the track. It should be a really good race. As far as short tracks on iRacing go, this one drives really well and tends to produce some really good tight racing, so should be a real fun race tonight.
Jonathan Parker, you come here once again to commentate another Coast to Coast Cup Series race. What you looking forward to tonight here as we take on short track?
I honestly don't know what to expect. I actually have driven here in the next gens. I lied. That was an obnoxious race that I drove. I don't remember what league it was. Well, I'm just Iowa'd out, honestly. But yeah, I think the outside is going to be a little bit of a train because of how draggy these cars are. Because we saw in the trucks how much the outside line, you can really keep that guy pinched down. And you're going to have to go higher probably just because of the bumps, like Brett said. And these things fly when they go over bumps. They don't like give it all. They just kind of speed over the bumps, and it makes the cars really hard to drive. So probably gonna go high on 1 and 2, but I don't know. I haven't driven this up in a while, so we'll see how they do it.
All right, practice coming to a close. We are getting ready to start qualifying here and set the lineup for Iowa Speedway. 2 laps to get the fastest time down. And right now, it looks like Tristan Troll is going to be the first one on track to try to take a qualifying time.
Yeah, here in qualifying, you want to get a nice high arc through 3 and 4 and get a big launch to the line. And you're going to want on the bottom, although I know in ITPN, it seemed like the second lap you get some more speed as the first lap. The tires weren't really hooked up. I think it might be the same in the truck in the next gen.
Coming off turn 4 is Troll to complete his first lap. And it is going to be a 23.734 for the number 6 machine. Still currently holding the top spot, going to cross the line, complete his qualifying time, and it is not improved. Cody Rivera's, though, takes over the top spot in qualifying on his first lap. Coming around complete lap number 2. 23.507 for Cody Ramirez so far. That is the pole time. Fowler are going to go P8.
Yeah, here the key to qualifying fast is really just getting that car hooked up on the bottom and getting it to roll that bottom while not having the rear end step out on exit. If you can get it hooked up, you can really put it down a good lap here.
Currently watching the number 7 of Douglas New Bigging. Coming off turn 4, lap number 1. 10th quick so far.
Yeah, he was a lot faster in that practice session that just wrapped up, so gonna try and push it here to get a little bit faster lap on lap 2. Just got bumped down to 11th now.
A lot faster second lap from New Bigging up to third.
Right now watching Christopher Robinson, currently the only driver taking any lap times. Nobody else out on track currently. Christopher Robinson is going to improve time, but not position. A 23.930. Currently 18th out of the 18 that have posted a time. A little over a minute left in qualifying. Now, I have a question for you for both Adam and John. Adam, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, this is a new series for JCTV. We started halfway through the season. You guys, both you and John, have done a couple of races. So for Brett and I, who are the newbies to being in the booth for this one, you know, who should we keep an eye on? Like, who are your guys' picks to win?
I'm not sure for my pick to win tonight, but someone to keep an eye on is the guy who got it done last week in Charlotte, Ollie Reeves. He's been up front all 3 races we've broadcasted so far here on JCTV, and he's strong on, and they've been 2 way different types of track circuits, so I think he's going to be strong again tonight and be in the mix.
I'm not really actually the person you should be asking because I only did 1 race. Excuse me, last week at Charlotte. But I know a couple of these names in these leagues, and I know Jason Rajak. He's pretty quick wherever he goes. So I'm not sure if he's been around in the 3 races that we've done, but he's the guy you can keep an eye on.
All right, well, qualifying has come to a conclusion. We're going to go ahead and show the starting lineup, starting with our pole sitter. It is going to be Cody Rivera starting in P1 with Jason Rajak starting P2. Douglas Newbigging starting P3. Brian Lorenzo P4. And starting 5th is going to be Tristan Droll. Adam?
6 is going to be the 55 Austin Duran. Starting in 7th is going to be the 39 of Fielder, and Shockey Tarpley is going to be on his outside in the 4th row. Ollie Reeves, who I mentioned, is going to start in the 9th position, alongside the number 02, who starts in 10th.
Starting in 11th will be Ellis Wells. Starting in 12th will be Brendan Fowler. 13th we got Brad Sawinski, and 14th we got Nicholas Borowski, and starting in 15th we got Luke Mahone.
You have Cash Colt, P16, Patrick Coluccio, P17, Christopher A. Robinson, P18, Drew Webb, P19, and Brian Lucan, P20.
look at our starting grid tonight here from Iowa Speedway. The field starts to roll off of pit road, and it is going to be 2 laps to green here as this track is under a mile long. So an extra pace lap for these guys. Cody Rivera, so, you know, as far as, like, I asked you guys for your picks to win, who we should watch out for. I don't recognize any of these names, honestly. You know, from racing around them or really watching them race. But I've caught a couple of glimpses of what's going on in this series and wanted to really get familiar. One name that I'm always seeing up front is Cody Rivera's. Now, I'm not going to say he's my pick to win. I don't really know if I have a pick to win, but he is starting on the pole tonight, of course. So, you know, I think I'm really going to keep my eye on him as guy to you know, just to watch for tonight.
Yeah, Josh, we really haven't done picks to win yet because we are, all of us are so new to this league, and we don't really know who's going to be up at the front week in and week out just quite yet. But you mentioned Cody Rivera's. He's the only repeat winner so far this season, winning at the Daytona Road Course and early in the season in Las Vegas, and he's the current point leader right now. So a lot of momentum going his way, and especially winning the pole tonight, like you mentioned.
I'm going with Douglas Newbigging because I feel like I've raced against him before. The name's real familiar to me. Not sure where from off the top of my head, but it might just be because it's a kind of unique name, but yeah.
Well, the base truck's going to pull into the safety of pit road. It's going to leave the hands in the field of Cody Rivera. Into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're underway here at Iowa. Already, Douglas Newbigging looking to the inside of Paris. He's going to tuck into line. This 55 machine of Duran going around the outside of Lorenzo.
It'll be interesting to see what line is going to be needed to make passes here. I know in ITPN, especially once the tires wore, you really had to work to make moves on the bottom. The top was definitely the preferred line. You see if that plays out the same here.
Rivera's still under pressure from that number 7 machine. Douglas Newbigging trying to hold on. Rivera's taking a wider approach into 1 and 2. I don't know if that was planned.
It's really easy to miss the bottom here. If you drive it in just a little too hard, you'll miss the bottom and it can really compromise your run off. When that happens, you just almost have to wait, be patient on the throttle, and just take what's going to happen. If you getting that runoff on the outside can make it difficult.
Newbigging got pretty close though through the exit of 1 and 2.
Austin Duran, he is trying to make quick work, cutting through, oh man, Austin Duran, he got loose there off 4. You can really tell he is pushing though.
Cash Culp a minute ago at the back of the pack had a spin off of turn 4, barely nosed the outside wall and got back rolling. I think he's fine and rolling, but definitely lost a lot of time.
And we saw that slide from Austin Duran. He's going to lose that spot to Tristan Cholin. Now he's under attack from Brian Alonso for that 5th position. A little bit further back, he was Shockey Tarpley racing with a 39 fielder.
We got Brad Sutwinski on pit road right now.
I noticed this 25 machine darkly had gotten into the wall. Just a little brush through the corner.
That's one of the advantages.
A lot of guys struggling for grip pretty early here. Go ahead, Brett.
I was gonna say that's one of the advantages of the next gen car compared to something like the trucks is with that new damage model, you can brush the wall and it won't really hurt your race. Kind of similar to real life with the composite bodies. So you can get in the wall without hurting your race as long as you don't bend the suspension. You probably will be fine.
Battling with Austin Duran. Oh man, looks like heavy damage on the front of that 28 Brad Sawinski. You mentioned he came down pit road, he went back out there, and I'm looking, he's bringing it back down pit road. See if we can find a replay of what happened here.
Ooh, contact up ahead of him. Ellis Wells and I believe that was Austin Duran got involved there.
I believe it was Luke Mahone there. He lost a bunch of time there and going through the grass. Managed to keep it out of the inside wall though, on the front stretch.
Yeah. Brandon Wells made contact. We're actually now under a caution.
And when we first went to the replay, we had to change for the lead, so a lot going on here.
Yeah, Rivera's got loose out of 2, and that kind of helped Newbinging kind of set up his pass.
There's a lot going on there. I'm not really sure what happened. If that was an admin throw caution for the contact between Duran and Wells, or if something else happened there.
Doesn't look like it was admin thrown, so
Cash Culp spun it off turn 2. Looked like he clipped the apron a little bit and the rear end just went around, and it happened kind of mid-pack, so it brought out the caution.
Got on the apron there.
oh my.
Very lucky not to hit anything or anybody hit him there. Great job locking it down. We are under caution for the first time tonight, and you know, I do want to mention, as I haven't mentioned it before, there is a stage here, and it is going to be at the conclusion of lap 55.
Other than wanting to ask you what lap the stage is on, we did have one car come down pit road there. Ellis Wells looks like he just he had a little bit of contact, was probably checking damage on his car, maybe topping off on fuel, but no tire changes.
So
Yeah,
everybody-
with the sorry, with the I was gonna say with the tire set limit being 4 for the race, it's definitely kind of early to be taking tires here. So I personally think 4 is a little too few for almost 150 laps, but that's not my decision. I'm not a big fan of tire set limits, but yeah, that kind of leads to people not taking tires here early on.
Yeah, we saw what happened to Alice Wells on the start here early on here at Iowa, but really great race last week at Charlotte. Led 72 over the 117 laps, and he got passed very late. Ended up finishing second, and now he's going to be at back of the field here, and he's going to be in for a long night to try and rebound.
Yeah, this is not a track where you want to get behind the 8 ball. That's what happened to me in ITPN. I got trapped a lap down, had to take a wave around on a little bit older tires because of just a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops, and made the rest of the race. And I know me and Josh were battling a decent bit there, and just it was such a tight pack. You'd basically end up in what was almost like an F1 DRS train. So it can be, you gotta be real patient working your way through the field here. It can be done though.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I'm kind of curious about. Tonight is you were talking about us battling there in the InThePitsNews Truck Series here just this past Saturday at Iowa, and it was just, passing was like non-existent. It felt like this is a whole different vehicle, and I'm really curious to know what the passing is going to be like tonight, especially as the tires do wear over a long period of time. So that's something that I'm keeping in the back of my mind here as this race goes on. We are double file, coming back to green flag. 124 laps to go when we do cross the stripe. That pace truck is in and inside the restart zone. Green flag is waving, and a big jump for Douglas Digging, trying to get a comfortable lead here.
Yeah, the fight's for second now between Jason Rashcock and Cody Rivera's, and Rivera's going to lose that fight because here comes Brian Lonzo to make it 3 wide in this fight through the center.
Man, things got real tight there between Troll and Reeves. Looks like Rivera's going to tuck in a line, a couple of positions lost there on the restart. Right now, it's pretty much all single file.
Yeah, we just see one car got in the wall. It was just control there, off of turn 4.
Oh, man. Austin Duran. He is really wheeling that car.
The bigger brakes on these cars means you'll see people a lot of times, at least in my experience of other cars in this series, they're going to drive it in a lot deeper. As you see Duran get a little loose there.
I'm going to correct you there, Brett. He got way more than a little loose. He was drifting through the corner almost like a dirt race. We got another one sideways. Caution is going to come out. Huge pile up, and it actually happened all in front of them.
There was one behind, and then the one ahead spun out. Oh, that drift from Austin Duran. Holy cow, that was that impressive.
Oh, man, it looked like everybody was getting loose there.
It looked like there was oil on the track. That was crazy.
Yeah, it seems like simultaneously everybody lost the rear there. The next gen does have a tendency to push to turn loose on a long run compared to a lot of the other stock cars on iRacing. Like the truck tends to tighten up. Here you start to have problems once the tires start to wear. That rear end gets super light.
not sure who the other one was that was in front of Fielder towards the grass, but yeah, that was insane. I don't know if I've ever seen just so many cars all at the same time step out like that.
It looked like one person tried to get a little bit earlier to the gas, and everybody tried to repeat that, and then everybody realized the same thing, which was getting back to the gas that early was a mistake in how the car would react. Honestly, a great job by the field missing Traber Burns. He kind of ended up stopped. Did a good job holding his brake, but ended up kind of stopped perpendicular on the front stretch, and everybody seemed to get by without hitting him, which was actually a really impressive job.
So a few drivers elected to come down pit road that time by, but most of these guys still staying out, not wanting to burn up that those set of tires. So
Looks like most everybody who came down pit road there did take 4 tires, other than Traber Burns, who is still sitting on pit road, so might have had some damage in that wreck.
while we are currently under caution, we're going to step away. Don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan from JCTV. Here at JCTV, we currently broadcast 3 series. On Tuesdays, you'll catch the Slide Job Racing League featuring drivers such as Dalton Kilroe, Dane Cruz, and Jonathan Parker.
And real quick, we are 3 wide for the race lead. Hawkins, Wygant, Hapiak, they went 4 wide for a moment with a lap car.
On Fridays, you'll see the NAOR series featuring Nick Hapiak, Chris Wright, and Josh Arnold. As that happens, here comes the 5 through the middle right now. He's going to force the issue and take it
4
3
wide! 4 wide!
God!
What a move by Justin Durand to go to the race lead!
On Saturdays, you can find the InThePitsNews Truck Series featuring Justin Durand, Zach Probst, and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. To book JCTV for your own league, please visit us at jctvracing.com and contact us for your booking. Remember, race fans, you can always watch racing live or anytime over at JCTV's YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Hey
coming
guys,
to Wonder
it's
Green now.
Jonathan from JCTV. Here at JCTV, we currently broadcast 3 series.
All right. We are back. One lap to green here at Iowa. We're going to have 114 laps to go. Caution number 2 tonight, and still not quite at that first stage break.
It'll be interesting to see people trying to come through the field here on new tires. I think we got 25 to go to the stage, or a little over, and people coming through the field on new tires here could get real dicey real quick.
Base truck is in. And green flag back out. This guy's getting single file very early. Now Lorenzo, I was noticing, having a little bit of blinking issues there, and it kind of looked like Rashcock was want to get in front of Lorenzo pretty quickly, but stay behind now. Looking a higher line.
Yeah, it can be incredibly frustrating when you get somebody having internet issues. Usually it's nothing they can control, unless it's Tyler Watermullen, obviously. Then it's his fault. But it's just going to be frustrating because you don't know where they are, so setting up a move on them becomes that much more difficult because you're worried they'll blink right to where you are and damage your vehicle.
Yeah, I think Rashkak's having a hard time handling his car right now. In line behind Lons as we go a little bit further back in the field. Back to Ellis Wells, who has gained a bunch of positions, but up the track of someone.
It's 39, Brandon Fielder. He's having a heck of a time here, being passed by a ton of vehicles.
Tarpley and Dorian, I believe, both took tires on that caution. They're both back up in the top 10 and moving forward very quickly.
See here, Ellis Wells and number 25 machine came down pit road. A few laps to go. I'm sorry, that's not Ellis Wells. That's Shockey Tarpley.
Yeah, I believe Shockey was involved in that incident on the front straightaway a couple laps ago, went through the infield grass, so of course had to bolt on some freshies, and very crucial there with, just like we've mentioned, just only limited sets in the tire in the laying in the pits, but taking that 7th position away from Ellis Wells there in the 57.
Zero Robinson right now.
He's showing some good patience
Caution.
here. We got a caution.
On the track.
Oh, huge trouble.
What in the heck?
Oh, man.
Oh, ooh.
Looks like Lucio just self-spun and then everybody piled in.
We saw him tow right there. His night's going to be more than done after that, and they'll bring in a lot of guys to pit road with him here after this. Wow.
Just overcorrected and obviously a fatal mistake there. That's a tough hit.
Riding on board here with Cash Bolt. Wreck was already happening in front of him. He was slow and still had to avoid some guys there.
Got Newbinging down pit road.
Yeah, Douglas deciding time to pit. Still, a lot of drivers staying out though.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuel mileage looks like in these cars, but I've got to think if you're pitting here, you're going to probably stay out at the stage. Might be here, puts you within one stop to the finish. So therefore, go ahead and pit here, stay out at the stage, and then plan on stopping semi-early and stay in the final stage.
That's a good call, Brett. Yeah, that's what I would think he would do. Because otherwise, this really makes much sense to pit here.
To add into the fuel economy here, and keep this in mind, is this league does not run full fuel tanks for the next gens. It's only 70% distance in terms of the fuel limiter.
And if that's with that being the case, I think 50 probably 50, 55 laps. I would think would be right around what the fuel window is, at least based on what the trucks are burning, assuming these are somewhat similar in fuel economy.
I think I've said it just about on all the other series that we broadcast, so I'll go ahead and say it here. I'm not a crew chief. I'm glad I'm not the one having to make the call out there.
See, rule number one of strategy is just don't do what I do, because no matter what I do, it will end up being the wrong strategy. Somebody will spin out if I pit early.
So would you have pit there?
I would not have. I don't like taking tires before the stage if I can avoid it.
With the way the stages is and the tire set limits are, usually my general rule of thumb is whenever there's a stage, I usually don't take a set of tires in that stage.
Yeah, I want the payout at the end of the race where the big money is. I don't care about the extra points. I mean, I'd love to get them, but unless I'm in like a real tight points battle, I'd rather set myself up with the most options at the end of the race.
Now, if there was no stages in this race, that might have been like a perfect time to pit, but then you might have seen more people come down. But with stages, it just kind of changes the way you have to move around them, because you know the caution is going to come out.
Well, the field is going to be working its way up turn 4, and I assume that the lights on the pace car are going to go off. We're going to go 2x2 and restart with 101 to go. And that is the case. Lights on the pace truck are off. In double file. 15 drivers on the lead lap. Go ahead, Brett.
I think Shakti Tarpley is going to be the one to watch in this restart. He had taken tires in the previous caution and really did a good job working his way up through the field. Restarting up on the third row here. Could possibly be aggressive on this restart and possibly even get some more.
Yeah, I think that you are right. Tarpley also restarting on the outside. And some guys really prefer to run that outside line. So it'll be interesting to see here. Hitchcock getting in the line there. MP3 pace truck is coming in. And the green flag is waving.
Alonso with a few blinking issues going to 2 and 1, but it's going to be Cody Rivera's in second position, taking that spot over Jason Rashcock onto the back straightaway.
Oh, my Tarpley prediction there doesn't seem to be working out. He's backslid on that restart. Looks like he just got caught outside and probably had the lift coming out of turn 2.
Holding on strong on that outside line.
Douglas Newbinging just made a big move on the outside, 3 wide out of turn 2. Got 2 out of that corner. Is already back up to P10 after pitting under that caution.
I was watching 3 wide there. That was Tarpley on the top. Powering through now and underneath. Ellie Wells at least trying to. Ellie Wells going to get loose there in the corner.
Ooh.
Goes around and hard into the wall as the 0-0. Christopher Robinson. More involved.
I think we found our trouble spot off of 4 here. This is crazy.
Christopher Robinson towed back there after that big hit to the turn 4 wall you mentioned, Josh, and I was one of our championship contenders this late into the season, going to drive away, but saw the mistake there and big contact. Yeah, wow, with that outside wall, that was huge.
Tarpley got really lucky there. He almost got right reared when Wells got loose outside from there. He just barely slipped by. it looks like Wells wasn't planning to run the line he did there. Got in the corner, looks like a little too much on the rear bumper of the car in front. Got a little bit, had to change lanes kind of aggressively, and a lot of times when you do that, that's going to just unsettle that car, and from that point on, you really got to be careful, or else you'll see what just happened happen.
So 47 laps complete here at Iowa, track in Iowa. 7/8 mile racetrack. We have some interesting pit strategy going on here. Some drivers still yet to come down pit road. Others already have come down pit road. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen at the end of lap 55. See where these drivers are at. Right now, I'm thinking if we get maybe another yellow beforehand, I think Lorenzo's going to win this stage.
He might do so regardless, Josh, because the jump he did on that last restart was pretty strong.
Yeah, I think there's two people who've pitted up towards the front. Both Tarpley and Newbegin will be on the inside line here, and Newbegin made a bunch of spots up on that last restart, but yeah, you get such a big jump from the lead. I think I got to go with the 77 here to pull away and take the stage.
Should get the one to green this time by as the field is coming through turn 4. 14 drivers on the lead lap, 2 drivers, Stroll and Culp, 1 lap down. Lucio sitting in pit road, 13, make that 14 laps down that number 18 machine.
So I have a quick update. Apparently Douglas Newbegin, the reason he had pitted is he thought the stage was on lap 75, so he was splitting the stage in half. But the stage is on lap 55, so he had misread that information.
Yeah, it's definitely a costly mistake here in a race like this, especially with how short that stage actually is in reality to what he thought it was, but I think he's going to have a good recovery here. The only thing is he's going to be down a tire set, which we have talked about a lot tonight. It's going to be very crucial.
I think all these quick cautions is really going to benefit him, though, as we're about to go back green here.
Indeed we are. Inside the restart zone, green flag in the air, and someone did not get going. I'm not sure who that is. Looks like the
just
7.
fell to the back, yeah.
I'm wondering if he's going to try to roll around slow to the stage break, so he's not putting that stress into the tires. Because I think he's probably doesn't want to be behind the 8 ball, so he's going to want to stay out at the stage.
Seems Cody Rivera is into turn 1, running a little bit higher line than Brian Lorenzo.
Rivera's making some noise here late in the stage. Looking on the outside. Try a crossover, maybe. Nope, gonna stay to the outside here, entering 1. not able to get right there at the back bumper. Just behind that number 25, Tarpley working on Reeves. A couple laps to go here in the stage. Tarpley's going to clear Reeves behind. These two, Lorenzo and Rivera, still battling for the race lead. One more lap here in the stage.
Harpley's got a big run here. He's on fresher tires in the front too. He's going to have to be aggressive if he wants to try to get the stage win, but he might have a chance at it here, especially going into 3.
Rivera's couldn't stay side by side with Lorenzo. Oh, we're going to have a caution anyway. There is a car stopped out of turn 2, and that's going to end the stage. Lorenzo taking the stage win with Rivera's second. Tarpley, P3.
Looks like it was some super bad net code for Ellis Wells that brought out the caution there.
Replay. Oh, man.
Wow, you were right, Brett.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, the car definitely didn't look like it. Definitely looked like it got hit. Maybe it's possible that he was getting loose and overcorrected, but I don't think the car reacts like that even when that happens.
And he's had a pretty interesting night.
Pretty much everybody who had pitted has stayed out here. Newbigging was definitely running slow behind the pack trying to save tires at the end of that stage.
Well, while the rest of the guys pit, who wants to talk to our stage winner? Okay, no volunteers.
I mean, I can do it if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's have
Throw him in the fire.
There's only one way to learn, Brett.
All right, Brett, let's grab Brian in here.
Hello, Brian. Brett Bennett here in the JCTV booth. Great job there holding on for that stage win. Once you got up front, it seemed like nobody had anything for you. What's your plan for the rest of this race?
The plan for the rest of the race is pretty much what we did right there. Save tires, be very passive, especially at the beginning of this run. Maybe be a little aggressive here at the start, as these guys are on 20-lap old tires each. We're going to try to get the lead, save our tires in front of Cody, and keep them cool, and that's all it's about, and we'll pull away again.
We've seen a lot of drivers getting loose here. How have you been doing managing that, trying to prevent having issues off, especially turn 4? We've seen a bunch of incidents there.
Yeah,
anything you're doing in particular?
Yeah, it's definitely a weird track. For me, I'm entering the corner a lot more shallow as compared to these guys with their arc entries, and it's causing those guys' right rears to really burn up, like really easily. And once your right rear burns up around here, it is almost undrivable. So yeah, that's the difference between me and other guys.
Well, best of luck the rest of tonight. I think based on that first stage, you get a strong chance tonight, so go out there, get him.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
I was just saying good luck the rest of tonight.
Thank you, man. Let's kill it.
And that was your stage winner, driver number 77, Brian Lorenzo there. Try to get the lead back. Right now it is Austin Duran with the race lead, though.
Yeah, I know everybody in that pack from Ronzo on back's got to be a little nervous here. Duran and Fiedler are on fairly old tires and definitely ran them hard. New Bigging tried to save tires, but still is going to be on older tires that won't be as in good a shape. So it could get really sketchy here trying to pass those. I know the end of the race in ITPN was that way with a couple people staying out in a mixed tire strategy. So, and this is a lot earlier, but still you're going to see people being aggressive.
Yeah, and we saw Austin Doran, earlier, have a bunch of huge slides on the exit of the corners, and he's been a lot of fun to watch, but especially on used tires, could be really interesting with him leading the field of green here.
Grant, Fielder, Newbigging, Lorenzo, and Rivera's top 5 coming to the restart. And the green flag is in the air.
Great jump for Duran. Got out to a nice lead.
Lorenzo was able to get in front of Rivera's as well. That's one thing I was curious about. Rivera's going to be starting on the inside. But it looks like Rivera's going to drive it a little bit harder off corner exit. Now looking to the inside of Lorenzo. Not giving each other much room there.
If you're one of those guys who stayed out, that's what you want to see is the cars on new tires getting side by side and starting and making them wear each other, battling each other instead of trying to swamp you.
Meanwhile,
And the guy, yeah, exactly. The guy we were watching at the end of that stage, Douglas Newbigging, just kind of riding, coasting. He got past Fiedler pretty fast right there on that restart, and here he is right on the back bumper of Austin Dolan for this race lead, like you were about to say, Josh.
Whoa! Wicked slide.
And that's what I was talking about on the restart. Austin Dolan sliding off turn 4 yet again. And he was Fielder to the inside in turn 1.
yeah, Fielder not going to be able to make it stick. Newbigging's still with the race lead, but Lorenzo's right there. Lorenzo is going to be able to clear Duran.
I gotta say, I'm really surprised how well those old tires are holding up for everybody. Newbigging did kind of do what we saw Carson Hochevar do in the Xfinity Series last Saturday at the end of one of the stages, which was ride super slow behind the pack after pitting so he could cycle for track position, even though it probably wasn't his intended strategy. But those tires are really holding up good so far.
Oh, hard into the wall is
Oh.
Duran.
Oh, wow, and
gonna
he shot.
slide.
That's gonna be a yellow. Oh no!
Oh,
my
more
God.
piling in.
Oh my!
Believe that was Cash Coppo got into him, and he almost tagged Ollie Reeves when he went down the track the first time.
Yeah, I think when he got in the wall there, he broke either a toe link or the right front bar because the rest of that track, that car looked undrivable after that. Yeah, you can see it wiggling in the replay, back and forth. That's definitely either right front or right rear suspension damage that caused that.
Oh, two of Bones who piled right into him there at the end.
That is one of the most helpless feelings you can have once you damage the suspension on one of these cars, trying to get it stopped because you don't have that much control and you're just kind of hoping you don't slide back up in the traffic and take anybody else out because you know your day is already ruined at that point.
Riding on forward with Cole. That is tough. There is a look at that 01 machine of Culp. Trevor Burns, also in pit road, being involved in that. Austin Duran. It's a 7. Douglas Newbigging still with the race lead.
Yeah, I just went back and looked at that incident again. Might not have actually been suspension damage on Duran. Maybe some right front damage. But the way that car reacted and how short he was on pit road, he's still on the lead lap. I'm thinking maybe he just, once he hit the wall, these cars, once they come unloaded, the way the springs and shocks are set up on this one, a lot of times you'll just be in overcorrection where you're just going to go back and forth, and that might have actually been what happened there.
The field is still single file, still pacing around here. We are almost halfway through this race. 143 laps was the distance. We have 74 to go, 73 at the line. So we are very close to being halfway through this race. 6 cautions so far for a total of 30 caution laps. 40 laps have been run under green in this race. And
I got to give a shout out here to Duran. He actually managed to stay in the lead lap through all of that, which I'm guessing means he probably didn't have any required repair, or if he had any, it was only a few seconds worth. But stays in the lead lap despite that incident. So probably still has a bunch of optional that'll probably have to take over the course of this race, and when it starts, it really hurts his performance. But good job by him to just at least stay on the lead lap, keep himself in with a fighting chance.
Yeah, just shows how tough these next gens are, especially with this, obviously with this new damage model. If it was the Xfinity or the truck, he would have been gone. But it's crazy that he's still able to roll.
I think there was at least 4 hits in that wreck that would have at least severely damaged the motor, if not blown it in the trucks.
You bet.
I mean, I got engine damage because somebody came within 2 feet of me last week, so I'm not an ITBM, but in like the official race.
yeah, all you have to do is really look at the truck for it to be down on power. But trucks, speaking of trucks, Pace Truck is in. That green flag is waving, back underway, and Newbigging, he chose the outside line for the restart, and it's working very well for him.
Let me tell you, whoever is the leader on these restarts just shoots out of a rocket. It doesn't really matter who it's been.
The extra horsepower in these cars makes the restarting as the leader a huge advantage compared to something like the trucks, where the extra horsepower means that everybody back in the pack can't just stamp on the gas right away because they're just going to spin the tires and get loose. So instead, they got to all be kind of feathering it. And so as the leader, you can really focus on modulating your throttle, and that's just going to get you to a big lead.
Harley Reeves slotted into the 3rd position right behind Riveros, though. Going to try and chase him down. Put Brian Lorenzo in his mirror and try and drive away from that 77 right now, as Sharky Tarpley maintains that 5th position.
Brian Lorenzo moving to get back up towards the front. He's still P4, but to get back up there in the race lead. Looking just behind that number 31 of Reeves. Somebody up in the wall.
That's Austin Duran. I think he got the wall again, and I think he probably had a little bit. So it's been suspension, and he's got a meatball. So he's either gonna have to pit or he's gonna get DQ'd here in a minute.
I think the car you saw getting the wall, Josh, was Fielder in the 7th position, the 39, because he is fighting with Nicholas Borowski now in that 7th and 8th position.
Yeah, indeed it was. Fielder.
He slipped big time there off of turn 2, Josh, and gonna try and fight in line over Jason Rashkai, because we see one of the cars pitting into the barrels.
That's Austin Duran. He already had a meatball, so probably not just gonna add insult to injury there. Hold a Tyler Watermelon right there.
Never a good thing to do.
Yeah, you never want to be repeating something Tyler Watermelon did unless it's winning at Talladega.
Tell you what, Cody Rivera's is doing a very good job of just kind of been hanging around, taking it easy on these runs, and been doing a very good job, I think, of just conserving his equipment, conserving his tires. With the way this tire model is ever since the update at the beginning of this season, I think I talked about it last week. If you slide these tires just a couple times, you're in for a long, long run. So he's just doing a very good job of keeping the tires underneath.
Lorenzo makes a move underneath Reeves, put Lorenzo in that 77 into the 3rd position now. And talking about tire saving there, Jonathan Parker. Lorenzo was talking about tire saving in his interview, and now he just felt like he was doing it better than everybody else. So, 77, he's in 3rd position now. See if he starts chasing down Rivera's. Go ahead, Brett.
You got to be really impressed here with Douglas Newbegin, by the way. Speaking of tire management, the fact that he pitted, I think 16 to go in the stage. I know he rode around those last few laps, but he still ran a couple laps hard on him. He is still pulling away from Rivera's, or at least not losing ground, despite being on a decently older tires. So, really impressive here from him. We'll see if he can maintain that, or if eventually that difference in tire wear is going to eventually come back to bite him.
Speaking of, guess who the fastest car on track is right now? That number 7, Douglas Newbegin.
As you say that, it looked like he got tight off a turn 2 there. Sorry to cut over you, Adam. Go ahead.
No, just it's proving my point a little bit. I was going to mention Cody Rivera is doing a great job of keeping up with him and not letting that 7 pull away too much, despite him being the fastest car on track, like Josh mentioned.
Yeah, but here comes that 77 of Lorenzo. And now you're about to have a 3-way battle for the race lead, but Rivera's looking to the inside of Newbegin. Newbegin.
Newbegin looks like he's. I know I just saw how good he was saving his tires, but it's looking like it's really giving up on exit on him.
He is really struggling with the rear end on the exit. You can see how unstable it is.
Let's put Rivera's into the race lead. Lorenzo looking to take 2nd away, but that was a slide out of Newbegin.
Yeah, that was not a subtle loose condition. That was a drift.
I think it goes back to what Lorenzo was saying at the stage break. Once you get that right rear hot, you are in for a world of hurt, and I think that's where Douglas Newbegin is right now. He's probably just gonna have to hold on until he's able to pit or we get a caution.
Reeves looking to the outside of moving, trying to get into P3.
Yeah, and speaking of what we were saying, Douglas just queued up the mic and said that that's exactly what happened. It sounds like when he was lapping Burns, he got the tires a little hot and just hasn't been able to get it back.
There's trouble. Caution.
Doctor order for Douglas.
Oh no, not again. Another parking lot off turn 4. And yet again, the 39's involved. Ooh. Was he pitting in now? Because he was pretty low into turn 3.
I think he just got loose.
I think he might have just come out of the pits because Wells was on the radio and did not seem very happy. Said something about him having just rejoined just to spin out again. So might be a little bit of anger there.
Yeah, he was.
Actually, see right there coming off pit road.
Yeah, he was on his outlap, so you were right, Brett. He was exiting the pits. And
We got all the leaders on pit road now, by the way.
right into them. Spoke of Ellis Wells coming on the radio and being upset. He did a good job just narrowly avoiding that.
And that was Nicholas Borowski was the one that got into the spinning fielder.
It appears Luke Mahone is the only driver who has stayed out here. Everybody else taking tires after a little bit longer run there. Definitely won it, and looks like Rivera's won the race off pit road. Ollie Reeves, the big winner, got by Lorenzo on pit road there. Hard to do on iRacing.
So Luke Mahone went out there for 35 at the line, 35 laps. Everybody else just coming down pit road. It's gonna be interesting.
Luke Mahone has just got on the radio and said he has a few sets left, but thinks there will be more caution, so is wanting to save the sets in case maybe we get a chance late in the race where he could be the one person with tires left, bolt them on. I know I've done this a few times in my races, like in ITP and other leagues, and I can say the chance it's worked out is basically once. The times it's not worked out is approximately 20.
Well, we have over 50 laps to go, so not a bad strategy call here. But guys, I am going to catch up with someone who has just left the Care Center a little bit ago from that caution, the last caution before this one. Cash Culp, who was involved with Austin Doran about, I don't know, 20 laps ago or so. Hey Cash, you got a copy? It's the guys in the JCTV booth.
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, there was a crash on the front straightaway going to turn 1, and really it looked like nowhere for you to go. What did you see from the 01 car?
I just saw a guy spinning across the track, wrecking, and my car was already damaged. It was already pulling to the right, so it was kind of hard to avoid it, even with the wrecked car at that point still, but now it's even more wrecked, and, well, I can't race anymore because he just spun across the track and I didn't have anywhere to go.
Well, how disappointing was it to end your night like that early on and not get all the way through the race, just ending pretty much halfway?
Yeah, it sucks. I was really excited about today's race, but it sucks I had to end early, but I guess I had fun while it lasted.
Well, how much fun was it out there? We've seen a lot of guys sliding off the corners and a lot of different tire strategy here with so few tires laying in the pits.
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't expect the tire to be that bad, or at least be that loose to begin with. But I mean, I'm a dirt track racer. I'm used to slide around the place, so I guess it was a little bit easier for me. But even with that, it was still extremely loose. But I mean, it was a good time. I had fun while it lasted.
All right. Well, thanks, Cash, for talking with us. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
That was Cash Culp in the 01 car, going to finish 17th tonight, guys.
Field is 2x2. And going to restart here. 50 laps to go here from Iowa Speedway. Pace truck is in. Luke Mahone on those really old tires. He's going to take off. Green flag back in the air, and Reeves, good jump behind Mahone. They're going to be 3 wide for a moment.
Everybody's stacking up behind the 5 there. Douglas Newbegin was the big loser. Got really stacked up on the bottom there, as everybody's going to stream by him as he. I think he had to know that was about to happen, as that's what comes with that strategy.
Gosh. Durant.
Cautious breed cautions.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Sawinski got into Durant.
Yeah, I'd probably say that wasn't on purpose. Both these guys many laps down. They're close in positions, but I think that's just 28 getting tight there.
Yeah, there's no intent in that. In general, anybody who's, and I'm assuming the same here, anybody who's, Sawinski's 9 laps down and Duran's 15 laps down. I think we're just trying to make laps right now, and fortunately got together, brought out the caution. Because I know when you're in that situation, you don't want to be a caution, because when you're that many laps down, it can be annoying to be the caution, because you're not racing for much and feel like you're kind of affecting other people.
Absolutely. For someone especially like Brad Sawinski, he's been 9 laps down pretty much since the drop of the green flag. He's been on the back foot, and he's been doing a great job just staying in the game and staying in the race and not really putting himself in the story. But unfortunately, this time just got away from him there off of turn 4. Where we've seen it's been the trouble spot all night, guys.
Yeah, it definitely has. And going by what you're saying, even when you're like 9 laps down, still staying out, especially if you're running for a championship, staying out, sticking with it can really pay off big for you. I know, like, I had a couple races early in the season where I was having computer issues, where just staying out there and keep making laps probably gained me 20 points or so, or 20 positions over the course of a couple races, and doing that week in, week out will really benefit you in the long run, even if it sucks to do, because driving with a damaged car is one of the most frustrating things on iRacing, because there's just nothing you can do. Everybody's going to stream by you, and all you're trying to do is just stay out of the way.
Yeah, I absolutely hate DNFs. It doesn't matter how many laps down I am. I always want to get out there and at least finish it.
I tell you, there's only one type of track I hate staying out as a damaged vehicle, and that would be super speedways, Daytona and Talladega, and I guess you can throw in Atlanta now too, just because you're trying to stay out of the way of all the lead cars, and if they're coming around 3 wide, it's so hard to get out of the way. Really, any other track, I don't have a problem with being out there, because the field isn't going to be blazing past you 3 wide every couple laps. So, a track like Iowa, just going out there, and, one, you're gaining experience. It's still a good learning curve for how the car can handle in the future, and also just getting points, being out there to gain as many points as possible, because we see in today's racing, every point matters.
Yeah, and I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, since I'm still getting used to this league, but I believe here we have a full season points championship, so no playoffs, no resets. So there is, I think, a drop week or 2, but every point does matter here. So you want to get out there and gain as many positions as you can.
I believe you are correct, but there are 2 drop weeks, but I'm pretty confident in saying it's just 10 straight up races. Other than, of course, dropping the 2 worst results.
I think as any iRacing league, you either got to do provisionals or drop weeks because end of the day, this is simulation, but it's also something that the amount of time people have to commit to it. You don't want to give up vacation for something you're doing just for fun on the side. I don't think most of these leagues that we're in, nobody's doing it for a career. Even if that'd be fun, if it was doable.
I wish I could do it for a career.
Yeah.
I think we all do.
I always wanted to play video games for a living.
The field is.
I heard it. I heard it.
Yeah, don't let Josh catch you saying that it's a video game. It's a simulation.
Trust us, but we know. We've gone through it many times in the booth.
So here on the iRacing simulator, we are double file, about to go back green with 43 laps to go.
Rivera's has chosen the outside lane here as the leader. See if he can get the same jump some other people have today.
So the pace truck is in pit road. And yeah, as you mentioned, Rivera's on the outside. He goes, and what a jump there. Oh, contact.
Ooh.
Now they're going to be
Wide.
3 wide.
I was just about to give a shout out to Ellis Wells, the comeback all the way back up to third, but definitely kind of came out the loser in that 3-wide situation.
You don't have to say it to jinx people.
Ellis Wells rolling the outside line just ahead of Jason Rashcock. Now Wells going to tuck into line.
And Rashguy popped into the line also in that 6th position, just barely clear of Chucky Tarpley for that position on the back straightaway.
Reeves looking to the inside of Rivera's. Reeves going for the race lead. Yeah, it's going to be tight. A little wiggle there, I think, and that's going to cost Reeves be able to stay there underneath Rivera's, but Reeves looking at the outside now. 1 and 2. Try to get a run down the back straightaway, maybe try go to the inside. Not quite close enough.
You got to be careful here as you're trying to be aggressive going side by side. You don't want to slide those tires, get them heated up and angry. I think looking at this race so far, the top 4 right now, Riveras, Reeves, Newbegin, and Lorenzo, I think have pretty clearly been the 4 drivers to beat here, and I'd be surprised if we see anybody else really getting up there.
Actually, I think I agree with you for once, you know. Lorenzo has been really fast once you get to a long run. Getting him out there to the race lead is going to be one thing, though. You know, if these guys can race him hard, there's 38 laps to go. If we stay green from here on out, think about it, Lorenzo, he's got to pass 3 cars, and the more and more these laps wind down, the harder it's going to be for him.
Yeah, both the harder it gets to pass, plus the longer the run is, the more life you're going to have to take out of your tires to make a pass. It's why, like, a track like Phoenix, Iowa, a lot of these short tracks, you really want to be aggressive on restarts and try to get several positions on restarts, because once you get going in a run, you have to use your tires so much harder to get around people. I also might have spoken too soon on this being a 4-horse race. Ellis Wells is getting right up on Lorenzo as they're almost nose to tail, 1st through 6th. Tarpley also getting into the action.
I'm really impressed with this group right now. Newbegin, look at the inside of Reeves, not quite there.
I do think the top, from a defensive standpoint, the top is really where you want to be if somebody's trying to pass you. It is just really hard to get that car to carry the momentum. You almost have to slide job somebody and give it up on exit, which that leads to its own whole new set of problems by running the bottom.
Yeah, but I agree. It's so crucial no matter what you run anymore, basically. Especially in trucks, especially in these type of cars. The right rear is the most important thing, because if you give someone the right rear so they start packing air on that side of your car, it's game over. They're going to have a huge run on the exit of the next corner, and they're just going to blow right by you on the straightaway.
Yeah, and I know my driving style, at least, I love tracks where you can just pack it up against the wall and get that run off, because you can just blow people away. And Iowa's not a track where you can really do that, but I know at least in the trucks you could really, on the long run especially, if you could run that top later in the run, you could just really make moves on people and really set stuff up. So I'd be interested to see if people start migrating more and more to the top as this run goes on.
You know, one thing I am noticing is that 7 machine, Newbiging, just working the bottom really well, really wrapping that yellow line, and even when it comes to getting off corner exit, just holding it down there a lot longer than 31 of Reeves's. And you saw right there, Newbiging had a moment where he could look to the inside, but Reeves just a little bit better on the exit, and that is because he is powering down a little bit sooner than Newbiging. So the reason I point that out, and sorry, Brett, the reason I point that out is because we're going to see here, as more of these laps wind down, we'll see the tire wear come into effect. And never mind, we've got a caution coming out. It is 71, Jason Rashcock spinning. And we'll take a look at the replay.
Yeah, I was about to agree with you. At the long run, if we were to get one, that bottom can really come in, because a lot of times it almost feels like you're more gripped up on the bottom. Those left tires are on the line, the harvicking line, if you will, as you see the spin by Rashcock.
Spinning from the 7th position, I couldn't quite tell who got into him there, but Luke Mahone did a fantastic job of just kind of getting lucky there and just right in the wow.
Oh, jeez.
He's had a couple moments this race. I think that the one where we had like the simultaneous spins, he he got on the mic after that and said that he needed a new pair of pants after that one earlier, and I think that one even more so. He definitely came close there.
Camera work to see how close that was. That was.
It sounded like there might have been some contact.
It might have been close. But definitely probably a netcode 4X at least. I know, like that. I don't think it was contact, because usually if you get contacted when somebody's spinning to your outside, almost always it's going to hook you to the right, and he got put down the track. So I'm thinking probably there wasn't any contact, but it was definitely close.
So we're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I take
Hey
a
guys,
sheet in the
it's
pool.
Jonathan from JCTV. Here at JCTV,
I take a sheet right before I
we
operate.
broadcast 3 series.
I take
On
a sheet in the
Tuesdays,
sand
you'll
track.
catch the Slide Job Racing League featuring drivers
take a
such
sheet
as
in the middle of the
Dalton
street.
Carroll,
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce dryer bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like Pat.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Right side tire chase, fill it full of fuel, and you heard the instruction. Right tires only. Right tires only. Go, 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 go.
Here you want sushi and wasabi.
Wasabi.
Yeah, wasabi.
Wasabi.
Wasabi! Wasabi!
Wasabi. 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 Wasabi.
Wasabi.
And we welcome you back here from Iowa Speedway. The field is 2x2. We're going to restart with 24 laps to go. And race leader Reeves takes the outside. Looks like top 6 stayed out. Everybody else come down pit road. This is going to be interesting, as Pace Truck is going to make its way to the safety of pit road, and it might not be long till we see that Pace Truck back out here, but inside the got-go restart zone, green flag back in the air, 24 laps to go here at Iowa.
Yeah, Rivera's the first one on fresh tires, started in P5, P6 there. Yeah, they're already being aggressive back in the pack.
Up front, we have mentioned it all night. Ollie Reeves with a phenomenal jump. Alice was in that second position, trying to run away from this mess, and there was Shockey Tarpley running in third for the time being. But you mentioned, Brett, Cody Rivera's diving to his inside now, trying to take that third position.
Yeah, he's wasting no time. He's got to get it right now.
Yeah, you got to go now, and if you're Wells and Reeves, you want to run away as quickly as you can, but I don't think there's going to be anything you can do. Ooh, aggressive move by Newbigging.
Rivera's going to work on the outside of Wells. Kind of made a hole I think Wells didn't want to have up there, but Rivera's going to get the spot. Here comes Newbigging as well around the outside of Wells.
Yeah, Newbigging and Rivera's here could be the rest of the win. Newbigging being really aggressive trying to get around Rivera's.
Rivera's looking underneath Reeves. Side by side going into turn 1. Reeves, older tires. This might be a bad spot for Newbigging on the corner exit. He'll be all right, though, diving it down into turn 3 underneath Rivera's.
It looked like Rivera's had to check up a little bit on exit there. Not sure if he wasn't sure where Reeves was going to be in relation to him as Newbigging gets a little loose off turn 4.
Newbigging had to tuck back in the line after he did get loose. As you mentioned, Brett now just settling in right behind Rivera's for now 20 to go. Coming to 19 at the line this time by. They're both pushing. You saw Rivera's almost up there. Newbigging, I think, might have been a little bit of netcode contact with the wall, what I saw on my screen. He's still right there, but you can tell these guys really pushing for everything they've got.
Yeah, they are clearly not saving any tire, and I got to wonder, Lorenzo has cleared Ollie Reeves for third. I got to wonder if he's maybe saving a little bit of tire here, and the way Rivera's and Newbigging are racing, I don't think those tires are going to be good for 15 more laps. They are not saving at all.
Side by side, Newbigging underneath Rivera's. Rivera's with the better line, taking the outside right now. The line that's going to defend off Newbigging. And right now, it's going to be still side by side, but Rivera's with the advantage. 17 laps to go.
Newbegin really does make that bottom work for him, though. I think he is actually really maintaining on exit, which is really what you have to do to make the inside line work. If he can just get it in front and slide up in front of him, it might leave Rivera in a tough, difficult situation.
I'm wondering.
Meanwhile, them being side by side, Lorenzo is gaining on him.
Yeah, Lorenzo, fastest car on track right now. These guys side by side. I'm wondering if Newbegin wants to get the lead. He might have to keep Rivera's like entering a little bit higher into the corner. If Newbegin can just take a little bit of a wider entry, possibly when they're side by side, might help Newbegin. Right now, single file. Lorenzo just 0.8 of a second back from these top two drivers.
Yeah, Lorenzo is definitely gaining, and him seeing Newbegin trying to get to the inside of Rivera's has got to be a good thing for him. Because if they're side by, if they can get side by side again, he's going to just keep eating into that lead. Newbegin is being aggressive under brake and trying to get to the inside of Rivera's.
13 now. 13 laps to go. Rivera still holding strong over Newbegin.
Yeah, you can see Newbegin really wraps the middle of the corner well, but that runoff up top from Rivera's is really just keeping him ahead of him as they continue the battle. Newbegin's gonna have to be careful because that is compromising his exit when he gets under him.
Lorenzo's kind of stalled right where he is. He's top two just a little bit faster than Lorenzo. But now they're back to being side by side. This only once again will help Lorenzo.
I still gotta wonder if Lorenzo is saving a little bit of tire because I don't really feel like the two leaders are at all.
Oh.
No, definitely not, especially the way they were side by side all those laps in a row. No way they could be.
This is not the time. It's a little late for saving, man. You kind of just got to go all out at this point.
Yeah, Lorenzo seems to be struggling a little bit on exit. He can gain on entry, but might be driving in a little too hard, overdriving the entry, trying to get back to the leaders. I know it's when you get those leaders right in front of you, out in front of you, it's really tough to not overdrive the corners because you want to drive it in deep, wanting to get to them. When in reality, the best thing you can do is back up your entries and really attack exit.
Newbegin had a moment there. He was sideways. And
Not
just
stopping him from driving into these corners, though, Josh.
Yeah, he's struggling big time. But right there, back bumper of Rivera's.
And as you say that, Lorenzo suddenly has found it again and picked up almost 3/10 last lap.
Newbegin inside, just barely tucking the line once again.
I think Newbegin is faster. He just cannot get that space he needs to make the move. I wonder if he almost would want to follow him for a corner, try to set up the run on the next corner, and then try to dive under him.
Newbegin loose once again. Just needs to try anything possible. He's got a lap car just ahead of them. It's 0-2 of Trevor Burns. Maybe he can use it as a pick.
The other thing to look for as we come down the end of this race is, does somebody get aggressive and use the bumper? Haven't seen enough of these drivers or raced with them enough to know how aggressive they're going to be here at the end, but that definitely might be a consideration if Newbegin can't get the move done on Rivera's.
5 laps to go here from Iowa. Rivera's still holding off Newbigging. I say that, Newbigging with a run through the middle of the corner. They were dead even down the back straightaway into 3.
Riveras is not getting that car turned in like he wants. It is just definitely not biting like it was earlier in the run. Newbigging might be able to clear him here in the turn 1.
Yeah, first time he's had the advantage on the inside, I think, in this run.
And he's going to be able to clear him off of turn 2 to the lead. Douglas Newbigging.
He showed so much discipline getting that pass done. Now he's got to defend a little bit. What more does Cody Riveras have to try and get back at him?
A lot of time running that bottom line will really help your tires hold up, but Riveras is still driving in deep, trying to get back to him, but I don't know if he's got anything because it seems like that inside line for Newbigging is really working right now.
Riveras is trying that outside line. I mean, you know, if you want a pass guy, you got to go where he's not. So Riveras, he's trying to use that outside line, what he's been using this whole time. See if maybe he can really work up some momentum. Get back by Newbigging. Right now, it's almost too little too late. They're coming through 3 and 4. The second to last time. And the white flag is in the air. It's being waved. Newbigging takes the white.
We'll see if maybe Riveras tries something in the turn 3 here as they go down the backstretch for the final time. He's going to have a chance if he wants to dive in on his bumper, but no, he's going to go to the top.
Oh, Rivera's going to slide through the corner as well, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be Douglas Newbigging taking the race win. And Cody Rivera's bringing home P2. Brian Lorenzo, stage 1 winner, bring it home in 3rd.
Riveras definitely tried it on that last lap there. Really sent it in deep. Definitely was one of those moves that you're going to try on the last lap, see if you can get it stopped, but definitely did not have the tires left to make that work.
Newbigging going to burn him down.
Got to be a little disappointing for Ollie Reeves. Definitely felt like he was one of the faster cars here tonight, and only came home 8th because the way that race was going, I think staying out and saving a set of tires was probably a decent strategy, but ended up running green to the end and ended up costing him probably 4 or 5 positions.
And Jonathan mentioned it was phenomenal patience by Newbigging here to just be just right there pounding every lap on the inside of Rivera's, trying to find a way around, and just when the opening was there and finally Rivera was finally able to slow down just enough for Douglas to capitalize. He never left his sight and was able to be in contention there in those last couple of laps and make that pass stick and make it pounce.
Yeah, and that is something that you do see in these cars and trucks. A lot of times, that top feels like it saves tires better because you don't have to give it as much wheel. But often that increased speed, you actually wear tires, especially the rears, which at a track like this where the rears are really hot, that running that top lap after lap, it's harder to hold on to the tires than when you're hooking that bottom line. And I think that's what ended up being the case, is Newbigging just stayed patient, stayed consistent on the bottom, and ended up working out for him as he gets by Riveras and drives away to pick up a victory here at Iowa.
All right, before we go into our post-race interviews, our finishing order is going to look like finishing P1 is going to be Douglas Newbigging. Cody Riveras brings it home P2. Brian Lorenzo P3. Nicholas Borowski P4. And Drew Webb P5. Adam?
Jason Rashak is going to finish in the 6th position with Ellis Wells in 7th. Ollie Reeves crossed the line in 8th, while Luke Mahone finished 9th, and Shaki Taupley ended the night in 10th.
Hey, lastly, lap finisher Tristan Troll finished 11th. A lap down, Traber Burns finished 12th. Brendan Fowler finishing 13th, 7th laps down. Brad Sawinski finishing 14th, 9 laps down, and then Brandon Fielder, we saw his issues, major issues, finishing 15th.
Finishing in 16th is going to be Austin Duran. 17th, Cash Culp. We heard from him a little bit earlier from the Infield Care Center. Christopher Robinson will bring it home in 18th, and bringing it home in 19th was Patrick Lucio. Brian Lucan did not make the grid tonight, so shows 20th, but did not start the race. We're going to go ahead and head down to our interviews, and I believe, Adam, you have our 3rd place finisher.
Hey, Brian, you got a copy?
Yeah, man, loud and clear.
Well, it was a 3rd place finish when it's all said and done. What do you think about how that night ended up? That was last 90 laps or so since we talked to you at last. Quite dynamic race there. You weren't able to catch Douglas or Cody there in the last couple of laps when they were fighting.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a great day for us. We got the stage win, of course, and we come out with the podium, finishing 3rd place. So I'm feeling pretty good. Next week is Talladega, so I think for me it sets me up pretty well in case something happens.
Yeah, it's going to be wild next week. Going back to the end here, what did you need to try and run down Cody and Douglas as they were running side by side there at the end? Watching them run side by side, were you eager on trying to catch them and make something happen, or did you know that the car was just either too tired, too loose there for anything to happen?
Yeah, I definitely got, if I were to change what I did right there in the last 20 laps, I definitely wish I was a little bit more patient with the car. We ended up burning up the right rear, and once you burn it up, once you get that right rear up to high temperature, it's pretty much over. I don't know if you even saw me, but the last 2 laps were almost undrivable for me. But we at that point, I was just like, I'm going to just take 3rd and move on.
Well, you mentioned Talladega's next week. You're right in the middle of this points chase here in this championship fight. So what do you have to do at Talladega next week other than survive to keep your name in that contention again? And what's your goal other than the win at Talladega, of course? What's the main goal for the 77 next week?
The goal for the 77 team is to be aggressive, stay in the front, control the pack. Try to get stage points. The stage points are going to be very, very important as we only got, I think, 3 more races to go in the championship. So, and then the other goal besides getting some stage points is to get a solid top 5 finish and not get wrecked. Because we could see a huge point shift when it comes to the championship. Right now, I believe I'm like 2nd in points, and we got a great points day today. But next week, if we finish 30th, that might knock us out of it.
All right, well, best of luck at Talladega, Brian. And congrats on the run tonight.
Thanks, man.
That was Brian Alonso in the 77 who finished in 3rd tonight at Iowa Speedway. Now we're going to hear from our 2nd place finisher.
Cody Rivera, this is Jonathan Parker up in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
I got you, bud.
Yeah, you took this race. I noticed I was watching you throughout most of the race, and you were just trying to be kind of steady and just look around. You got the lead at the end there, but Newbingen just kind of edged you at the end. What more did you need to hold him off?
I think I just overdrove it a little tiny bit in the middle of that last run. I got high a couple times, and I got my right rear into the 3rd lane, especially off of 1 and 2. He was a lot better than me in the first couple corners there. And I got my right rear too high, and I smoked it up a little bit. And within 2 laps, he was to my door and ahead of me. So it was a great battle, though. It had a lot of fun. And if you'd have said I was going to finish second in this race before the race started, I would have signed up for it immediately.
Not a big fan of Iowa.
The tires here. I don't know if you guys noticed throughout the race that 3-second fall off over the course of a full run. I don't know if we ever actually got to that point, but over a full fuel run, with the way the setup is and everything, you can have a 3 to 3.5 second fall off throughout the race. So you just got to be real patient, real delicate, and just one little mistake, and you can be, tumbling through the field.
I knew it was bad. I didn't think it was that bad. That's crazy. But looking forward to Talladega next week. Do you have any really plans in terms of how you want to control the pack or get the most points that you can?
Well, in our only other super speedway race this year at Daytona, I had a fantastic first 95% of the race. I had no incident points until quite literally the last lap, and I got caught up in something. So I think at Talladega, for me, I probably just want to be out in front of it, especially in this next gen package. You can't really sit back like the cars of old. You really got to kind of control the field, stay in that top 5 region, and hopefully everything happens behind me this time.
Yes. Do you have any shout outs you want to give sponsors, teammates?
Yeah, we'll shout out the boys in SAAC. We've been racing together, a lot of us, for the better part of 4 to 5 years now, and we got over to iRacing finally and got a league established and set up, and we've been having a lot of fun doing it, and we can't wait to keep doing it in the future.
Yeah, you guys put on good shows. It's been a lot of fun. Maybe I can pull my car off the trailer and race one of these, but that was your second place finisher, Cody Rivera. Thank you.
Hey, man, we'll have you anytime you want to join.
I'll look into it. I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Down to victory lane with tonight's race winner, Douglas Newbigging. What a race. What a battle there at the end of the race as well between yourself and Ramirez. But a lot of cautions tonight. What was the strategy?
Well, I mean, the first part of the strategy, I kind of messed up. I didn't hear that we had a stage caution. It's been a while since I ran the league, so I totally forgot about the stage, and I pitted at lap, what was that, I think like 40-ish, thinking that, I'd be really good set up with a caution, and then my tires were good. If I went long run, I'd be really fine. And then they said, no, we have a stage brake. I just basically, on the restart, just let off the gas, held the clutch in, and I just let everyone by, and then I ended up really only having 2 lap older tires than everyone else. Held them off. That's when I got back the lead after the stage, was because I didn't pit, and then I just basically kept it going, spun the tires a little bit. I don't know. It was just really about keeping the tires underneath you. That was the biggest part about this race, strategy-wise. Really, I mean, as long as you're able to do that and had a good line that you can make that no one else was really running, that was like really the key concept to win here.
That battle that you had with Rivera's, he was holding you off pretty well. You kept working the bottom, though, and what was going through your mind as that battle was going on? Did you think that you were going to be able to get past him on the bottom, or did you think that you really needed something to give for you to take that lead?
I mean, personally, I love running the bottom here. I made the bottom line work here. I mean, Ryan, he runs the bottom here probably because I told him in a different league that we ran together. But yeah, I'm really comfortable with the bumps down here. I love this track in almost every car just because the bumps work, and no matter the setup, no matter next gens, rear, master, brake bias, whatever it is, it handles the same with the bumps in all the cars, which I just love it, and that allows me just to run the bottom so much better. Not only that, but you save tires, keep them a lot cooler. Like I said earlier, that's the biggest thing. I had a few moments, though, underneath him where I kept sliding the tires, trying to get back on the gas early, and every single time that happened, it was just like, all right, probably going to lessen my chances now, and then lessen them again, but he raced me clean. We were really respectful with each other there. I had a blast racing him, and I kind of knew I was going to get it done once he let me run the bottom in 1 and 2. It was just, bottom in 3 and 4. It was just getting my throttle right, picking up. So.
All right. Well, sponsors, shout outs. Who do you got to thank?
Yeah, man. I got Roasted Gems coffee. Let me tell you, best coffee in the planet. Use code Lucky Ducks, one word, 15% off. Been a while since I gave them a shout out because I haven't been booth for a while, but there you go. No Kid Hungry charity, great charity to donate to. RS Button Boxes, Fail Designs, Simrat Market. You go Lucky Ducks. You could get paint scheme here. Look at this beautiful paint scheme. You want a beautiful paint scheme like that? Let me tell you, get the base off there. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, just look at that beauty, right? And Lucky Duck Motorsports, obviously, they huge help there, and yeah, pretty much it. So thank you guys very much for broadcast. Can't wait to watch back and see what y'all saw.
All right. Well, congrats on the win here tonight in Iowa.
Thank you very much. See you guys around.
And that was race winner Douglas Newbigging, winner here at Iowa Speedway. Adam, John, Brett, what a great race we saw. This race had a little bit of cautions, but still, these guys put on a really good product.
Yeah, I thought this race had a little bit of everything. You saw a lot of rapid-fire cautions, especially early in the race, and late in the race you had that decent medium-long run to the finish where was really impressive. Douglas Newbigging consistently making those moves, consistently working the bottom there, and just staying patient on Cody Rivera's, and eventually making the pass, coming to, I think it was 3 to go when he finally got by him. Hopefully we'll see more of that next week at Talladega, and it's some more great racing.
Yeah, that slick track at it was tough on those drivers, and you saw that with the caution fever, especially earlier on. But it just put on a great show. It lets you kind of pick which line you want to use, and it just put on a great performance, especially at the end. Seeing Douglas Newbigging trying to overcome his lack of track position there, and passing Cody Rivera's at the end. It was very, very awesome to see them manage their tires and seeing a lot of little things that they were doing that were kind of a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys hit everything right on the head there, and want to highlight again, like you just mentioned a little bit there, about Newbigging's recovery through the field after his mistake early on, not knowing really about the stage and about that caution, that pit stop early on, and having just to ride into the stage break and regrouping all the way through the field. Did a phenomenal job, and that battle with Rivera was amazing, and everyone there in the top 5 was doing great jobs. They were just hanging on to what they had with those tires. It was a great show, and when, like these guys mentioned, can't wait to get to Talladega next week and see what we got there.
All right, well, looking forward to the upcoming schedule on JCTV. Tomorrow night, the DI9 Designs NAOR series takes on the Charlotte ROVAL for some road course action. Saturday night, the Laser Sim Racing InThePitsNews Truck Series. They take on my favorite track, just off US Highway 12 in Brooklyn, Michigan, Michigan International Speedway. Looking forward to that one. And then next week, pretty easy week for our camera crews here at JCTV as they get to stay in one place. Not only are we at Talladega here in the Coast to Coast Cup Series on Thursday night, but just before that, Tuesday night, the Slide Job Racing League. There's live TV.
You need a little help there?
Live TV, give me a break. A lot of different
Listen,
broadcasts. Our MF Racing Design Slide Job Racing League takes on Talladega as well. So we got plenty of action, guys, to tune into.
Yes, you
And
do.
you
I'm
can
scared
You could catch
of that
our,
race.
our crew and Jonathan Parker trying for a championship there on Tuesday night.
Yeah, who the hell made that a cutoff race? It scares me.
If you want some more fear, I am planning on making my Slide Job Racing League season debut on Tuesday night.
Yeah, stay half a lap down the whole time. Don't cause wrecks for me.
You heard it here first. Jonathan Parker going for a championship in a cutoff race. Brett Bennett apparently showing up for some reason. Kidding. We wish Brett. We wish Brett.
Yeah, you don't have to stay half a lap down, but don't cause wrecks.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to the next few races that we have here on JCTV. So, big thank you to Adam, John, and Brett for joining me in the booth. As far as Jonathan Canfield goes, not here tonight. He was stuck at work.
Shout out Canfield.
Jonathan Canfield doing still doing pretty good there. So hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me in the booth. So on behalf of Adam, Brett, and John, and the entire outstanding crew at JCTV, I'm Josh Coppernell saying so long. See you next time. Take care.